On the night of March 24, 2024, Iowa faced off against Holy Cross in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, holding their status as the nation's top powerhouse in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark wasted no time setting the tone, effortlessly sinking tough shots with a confident smirk as if it were just another day at the office.
Checks the shot clock. Foreman staying right with her. Off the spin, the help comes and one.
The Hawkeyes gained a slight edge by the end of the first quarter, and as expected, Caitlin Clark carried her momentum into the second. She orchestrated the offense with precision, setting up Kate Martin in the right corner. After draining that corner three, the ladies in purple could feel Caitlin Clark finding her rhythm. Determined to keep her from catching fire, they cranked up the defensive pressure, tightening the screws and making their presence known with some physical play, leaving her with more than just a challenge but a few.
The best defenders on this team, they're going to show hard, try to.
Despite the obvious fouls, the game carried on as if nothing was amiss. Sensing that the officials were turning a blind eye, the opposition cranked up the intensity, pushing the limits of physical play in a ruthless.
Yes, and you have other players who are going to knock down shots from the three-point line.
At first, I assumed the contact was purely incidental, but after reviewing it from another angle, there was no denying it was a calculated hit. You don't often see someone grinning that wide after delivering a blatant foul. Holy Cross thought they had seen the last of Caitlin Clark after knocking her down, but what they failed to realize was that they had just awakened a scoring monster from her slumber. They didn't just challenge any player, they poked the female boogeyman, shaking off the dust. Caitlin wasted no time launching her own personal revenge tour. She started with a deadly sidestep three, followed by a picture-perfect backdoor dime, threaded right on time.
Martin, backdoor from Clark.
Entering the third quarter, Caitlin Clark showed no signs of slowing down. She torched the defense with back-to-back step-back splashes, then effortlessly weaved through them with some slick, ankle-breaking handles, leaving defenders grasp.
Clark, off the crossover, goes to the left side and.
By the end of the third, Iowa's lead had exploded to 21 points. But even with Holy Cross practically waving the white flag, Caitlin Clark showed no mercy. She kept her foot on the gas, swiping steals like a seasoned thief and turning every turnover into another highlight for her.
Clark gets the steal, and Caitlin with the lay-in.
To put the finishing touch on her revenge tour, Caitlin Clark bulldozed through every purple jersey in sight like a runaway freight train. When the dust finally settled, she had stacked up a dominant double-double, 27 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds, all because they dared to take a cheap shot at her. That was just a glimpse of what happens when you push her too far. Now, let's dive into more of Caitlin Clark's most ruthless revenge moments. Guaranteed to put a smile on your face, Maryland took its shot at Clark, much like the bruising battle against Holy Cross. But just like before, the attempt to take her out only fueled her fire. One of the most unforgettable displays of this came on February 3rd, when Caitlin and the Hawkeyes went head-to-head with the Maryland Terrapins. As expected, she wasted no time heating up from deep, drilling a logo three to open the game. She followed it up with another long-range bomb around the 4-minute mark of the first quarter before sinking an insane contested triple from the logo. By the time the first frame ended, Clark had already racked up 14 points, but just
start block from the logo and knocks it.
On replay, it looked like Caitlin Clark took a liver shot from Manny Pacquiao, writhing in pain as the wind was knocked out of her. But true to her fighter mentality, she refused to stay down. After gathering herself, she got back up and fired back with a flurry of haymakers. Fueled by her rage, Clark powered Iowa to a 14-point halftime lead. And in the second half, she kept her foot on the gas, showcasing her full arsenal. She dished out slick backdoor assists before attacking the rim with authority, leaving no doubt.
Daniel draws a double, forced it up, rims it off.
She then added some flair, putting the sauce on her defender before shoveling it up for an easy layup. And when the game was tied at 76, Caitlin Clark rose to the moment, drilling a cold-blooded dagger three to seal the deal and pave the way for a Hawkeye victory.
Stop and start, gets to the bucket, easy layup.
After taking that elbow, Caitlin Clark cranked up the intensity and capped off the night with a monster stat line, 38 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds. As you've seen before, there are always serious consequences for those who try to take her out of the game. But here's the thing, even a minor poke at the bear can set her off. Caitlin isn't the type to let even the smallest jab slide. Just ask DiJonai Carrington. In one of their earlier matchups last season, Carrington made a spectacle of mocking Clark, even going as far as poking her in the eye, an act that grabbed everyone's attention in the arena.
Carrington believes there's some act
Confronting going on.
It was obvious that Carrington was mocking Caitlin, accusing her of flopping. But while Carrington put on a show, Clark stayed stone-faced, calmly walking to the foul line. It may have seemed like she shrugged it off, but everyone knew revenge was coming. And right on cue, in their next matchup on August 28th, Caitlin wasted no time making a statement. From the opening tip, she went straight at Carrington, putting her on skates, despite there being no ice in sight.
Clark hits a three.
Moments later, Caitlin took Carrington to the weight room, muscling past her for an easy scoop finish. Then, just before halftime, she bumped Carrington into her own teammate, sent her tumbling to the floor, and drilled a deep three while she lay flat on her face. By the third quarter, Clark was in full takeover mode. She torched Carrington with a filthy step-back jumper, and when Carrington tried to shush her,
What does Clark have up her sleeve this time? Oh, she gets it.
when the final buzzer sounded, Caitlin had racked up 19 points, most of them coming at Carrington's expense, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But their rivalry didn't end there. After clashing in the regular season, the Fever and the Sun met again in the first round of the playoffs. And in Game 1, Carrington delivered a dirty play that arguably sealed Indiana's
In pain after she caught that.
Playing through pain with one eye shut after that brutal hit, Caitlin struggled, finishing Game 1 with just 11 points as the Fever fell short. But she wasn't about to let Carrington off the hook that easily. In the third quarter, Clark got her revenge, taking the phrase an eye for an eye to a whole new level with a
So Carrington way, and then Clark caught her with the left.
Aside from Carrington, it's no secret that Caitlin Clark has had a massive target on her back since stepping onto the court. One team that took turns punishing her was the Seattle Storm. The first incident happened on May 23rd, right before halftime, when 6 feet 4 inches Easy Eye Magbegger sent a brutal message, nearly decapitating Clark as she drove for a layup. The refs turned a blind eye, but Caitlin had other plans. In the third quarter, she channeled her frustration into back-to-back step-back triples, then snaked inside for a smooth finish at the rim. On the defensive end, she locked in with tight coverage, proving she wasn't just an offensive threat. And in the game's closing minutes,
Baseline is shot rejected by Izzy Magbegger.
Assists now at 19.
Then moved by Clark, and she forces it up. And